Restorations are underway for the historic Art-Craft Theater, and its progress is already becoming evident. The first step was to restore the front facade of the building, which became structurally unsound as the marquee began pulling away from the building. Along with the newly restored marquee, visitors will be able to notice new windows, doors, along with the newly restored Art-Craft blade. The stage has also undergone major changes to accommodate a variety of different productions.
So it won't be just movies anymore. You'll start to have, we've got a bluegrass concert this weekend. We're going to have comedy tours. We're going to have a bunch of other things. So there'll be a lot more live acts that will be in between the movie days.
The Art-Craft Theater is a familiar symbol to Franklin College students and has been ever since it first opened its doors in 1922. Just days after its grand opening, Franklin College performed its very first play at the theater, where a young Roger Brannigan performed in The Importance of Being Earnest. Nearly 88 years later, the theater still holds a close relationship with Franklin College and the Franklin community. The theater has played a key role in Franklin's economy and continues to do so to this day.
And then this is an anchor store. And if you have it open, active, and running, it helps every mom and pop shop around here. That means more coffee shops. It means more restaurants, more bars. So it's important to restore a landmark structure like this, but it's also important to the townsfolk just to help those merchants out.
The next major step in the restoration process will be to replace seating inside the theater in an effort to give the interior a more historic touch. Once the restoration process is complete, visitors will be able to step back in time and get a sense of what the theater was like in its prime. For Inside Franklin, I'm Ethan Leffel.
Well, Ernie Pyle was an icon to a lot of people in a lot of different constituencies. Not only is he looked on as the most famous war correspondent, a newspaper correspondent, really in American history. He's also looked on by veterans groups as a singular individual who told the story of war from the soldier standpoint as opposed to from the general standpoint or from the big picture standpoint. He had a way of telling the story of the individual in ways that so many people appreciated. The folks back home didn't care so much about strategies and how things were going. They wanted to know how their boys were doing, and Ernie Pyle told them that.
The human aspect of it, the personal involvement of the millions of people who lived through the generation. This is the best place to see what it looked like in their day through their eyes. A lot of people have said that it's just a World War II exhibit, but it's not really, because a lot of the stuff that the soldiers saw in World War II are the same things that soldiers deal with even today. Or changes in uniforms and things like that, but not in personalities.
Franklin College students showed their support for the men's basketball team earlier this month as the team's season was wrapping up. Hanover visited Franklin on February 9th as the two rivals met for a conference battle in the Spurlock Center. Franklin was led by junior point guard Clay Starrett, who scored 15 points. Junior center Will Connolly and freshman guard J.T. Barton each added 13 points for the Grizzlies. The meeting was the 150th in the Franklin and Hanover series, and in the end, Hanover outmatched the Grizzlies in this one, with the Panthers claiming victory 85-72. The Grizzlies still hold an 85-65 lead in the series. The 32nd annual Grizzly Grand Prix took place last Saturday as Franklin students took to their bikes to take part in this popular Franklin tradition. The event was well attended by both students and staff as they gathered at the Masonic home to watch riders race lap after lap after lap. The races take nearly all year to prepare for, as Student Foundation Advisor Candace Mosley explained.
We actually begin organizing for it back in September when we meet in a committee of 2 or 3 or 4 students in Foundation, each divide up responsibilities, and it really takes months of planning. We need to plan for shirts, we need to plan for food, lots of little details involved in it. And it's a lot of fun. So it's really a cooperative effort that transcends just the work that foundation does. It's really a number of groups, there's several groups that get together and make this a fun time for everybody on campus.
It was ladies first Saturday morning as the 50-lap women's race commenced this year's GGP. The race was competitive, but it was the women's basketball team that came out victorious. Next up was the 100-lap men's race. Each team gave it their all, but it was the SAE team that came out on top. While it may be no Tour de France, the annual Grizzly Grand Prix is nonetheless a competitive day of biking for Franklin students, as this special Franklin College tradition will race on for years to come. For Inside Franklin, I'm Ethan Leffel.